right, it's party time. Is it? I don't know. Thursday, off the rails. Let's go. Skunks. I don't know if you guys are thinking about them, but we are. It's all we've been talking about for the last week, me and Sara Gonzales. Sara, hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
I would like to just clarify. It's all I've been talking about. You are probably sick of hearing about it.
Well, I love you.
Yeah.
And as a good work husband, I'm here to support. Let's get two things out of the way. One, I'm here for the support. That's that. And you and I are not banging each other.
Everyone thinks that that's the case.
Well, I don't know about everyone, but there's a lot of people who like to comment on your show to say Chad and Sara are definitely,
No.
We're definitely not.
I know way too much about Chad to want to go there.
What's funny is how much the public knows, and yet there's more.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how often we will have a conversation, a text conversation, and I'm just thinking like, oh, this is obviously just for us. And then you start talking about it on the show, and I'm like, I didn't think that was for public consumption, Chad.
Screw it. Keeps me out of trouble.
Does it?
Well, yeah, because then they can't come back at you with anything.
That's true.
It's like I had a guy on social media this week who said, because I said, Joe Biden, I said the Biden family managed to take 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, which was formerly known as the White House, and turn it into the crack house. And the guy said, oh, yeah, like you know anything about it. Why don't you run for office? I was like, you literally don't know who you're talking to. And it's like, I love to just expose people's ignorance. That's why I put it all out there. And that way, if people want to come back at me, I'll just be like, yeah, and I've done it all.
When you were running for office, I recall that you quite frequently said, I don't have any skeletons in the closet. They're all in the front yard.
They're in the front yard. There's no closet. Bring it on out there. There's plenty of people that hate me, but that's not about the skunk. I want to talk about the skunk.
Okay.
Because we haven't talked about the skunk. The skunk. Enough. Friday night, Saturday night. Friday night.
Both.
Friday night, you texted me. I was out and about.
Yeah.
At home. And but I was in my home where I live, town, but I was out.
Right.
You texted me. You said some expletives.
Yes, there were
and I
expletives
never
used.
know what you're referring to, but it's usually skunk was not on my usual list of suspects.
Right.
Your dog had gone into the backyard and got skunked.
Twice this weekend, 2 nights in a row, which, look, I understand people might think I have the propensity to be somewhat of a drama queen.
You do.
Okay, thank you. I didn't need you to reassure me of that. But I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this has been such a giant, it has caused so many issues in our life right now that you would have never thought could come from a dog getting skunked in the backyard. But I will tell you this, and we can go more in depth. One of my main takeaways from this is don't bathe the dog in the freaking house. Bathe it outside.
Yeah.
Because now my bathroom and my closet and my laundry room all smell like skunk and I can't get it out. And it has leached onto all of my things. I discovered that my incredibly expensive handbag that I worked very hard to be able to afford now smells like skunk. The things in it smell like skunk. And we're going to get real personal when I tell you that in my closet, obviously I have my articles of clothing, my entire bra and panty drawer, skunk.
It's a good thing you don't ever wear panties. Now we know it's just you.
But the bras as well. So now I'm going to have to go through, I guess, wash my entire closet in different loads to see if that gets rid of the smell. It's leached into the wood in my bathroom, Chad. It's in the painted wooden cabinets. You stick your nose up to that thing, smells like skunk. I don't understand how it's possible. The molecules have leached onto every single thing just being in the air. The skunk sprayed it outside.
I have a solution. Start smoking weed. Then you won't care.
Right, and?
And the house will just smell like home.
Ugh.
Everywhere you go, just smell like weed. Get some skunk weed from the streets, man. You're close enough to Dallas. Let's go. You're close enough to Plano. You get plenty in Plano.
No, I got you, Sara.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Brandon.
Good looking out.
Yeah. You start smoking weed,
I'm
it'll
not
smell.
going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Come on.
I'm not going to do that. I mean, we've tried everything I looked it up. We did straight vinegar. We did hydrogen peroxide, dish soap, and baking soda combination.
Tomato juice.
We have not done tomato juice, mostly because I feel like that's just going to make a mess. And that's for the dog, though. Is that for like bathroom? I'm not going to pour tomato juice on my bathroom floor and scrub it in.
I don't know.
We tried Nature's Miracle skunk odor remover. I have tried. I have a humidifier that I have a vinegar mixture that is like being dispersed into my bathroom as we speak right now while we're gone. I am trying literally everything, and every time I come home and the portion of my house still smells like skunk.
That's a stank.
There's nothing like it.
You found a skunk in heat, and I mean, it was just stank magnified exponentially for your house.
It had to have been.
Yeah, and your dog went out there and couldn't get enough, had to get it 2 nights in a row. Like, come on, get me some.
That bitch.
Yeah. So now Friday night when you texted me that, oddly enough, CJ and I drove up to my house about midnight. We drove up in my truck, and from way down the road, I saw that big skunk in my front yard.
So funny.
And I was like, I have never seen a skunk around my place, ever. Like, they're everywhere, but I've never seen one around my place. And just out in the front yard, like, toodaloo, what up, mother? And like, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I know.
Sarah just texted me about a skunk and her dog, and now I got a skunk in my front yard. See, that's how you and I are connected at the soul in the universe right there. You brought a skunk into my life.
I'm sorry about
$1 million,
it,
$1 million. See, skunk. And so I'm out there throwing water bottles at it to get it to run away. CJ's like, just shoot it. And I was like, the neighbors may have a problem.
So it's interesting that you brought that up, because I went on Twitter and I was just like, what is the best ammo for killing skunks? Because I'm just saying, if I see this bitch again, it's dead. And I, of course, was reliably informed by my husband, like, honey, you can't do that. You can't just, like, the cops will have a big problem with that. A neighbor's going to hear. And I was just like, well, fine. So we do have a shovel outside. And now we have he's called animal control. So now we have a stupid skunk trap in our backyard.
Well, see, you see the problem with that, right? Is when you walk up to the trap with the skunk in it.
That's what I said. Because he said, well, they said they trap it, they come out here, they inject it, and then they inject it and kill it, and then they take it off. And I was like, how are they going to inject it? Is it like a dart gun? Is it a blow dart? How are you going to do that without getting sprayed?
Call Bill Cosby. He's good at putting people to sleep.
Not sure he has any experience in skunks, though.
I don't know. He might have been around some stanky hoes. I'm not taking that joke any further because I could right now. I could think of some real fun things to get rid of the skunk. It would be messy. Like around my place, I have suppressed weapons, but still, you fire a 300 blackout short barrel rifle with a suppress, it's still going to pop off at about 135 decibels. You're still higher than a jet engine right there. I mean, that's pretty loud. They're going to hear that.
That's enough to get a phone call to the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, when I was throwing the water bottles out the truck window at the skunk ran up into the bushes right up against my house, which is not where I want him to go. So I had to try to walk past there with CJ holding onto my arm, pulling me back, trying to use me as a human shield. And I was like, woman, you have no idea. That skunk pops out, I'm throwing you at the skunk. And locking the door. You're not coming in. No. Big, pretty one, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
This one was very small.
I saw it. You sent me the video.
I sent you the video, and we were concerned that it might be rabid because it started actually walking in the direction of my husband and my dog rather than away, which is not a good sign.
Could be.
Because usually the spray is, I'm spraying you so that I can get away, not so that I can come closer.
Yeah, you shoot that thing, your backyard's going to stink. I mean, you've driven over a dead one in the street.
Yeah,
you smell it for 100 yards, quarter mile.
But outside, it dissipates very quickly. For whatever reason, it dissipated from the family room, all of that. In the bathroom where he gave her the bath and the shower and stuff, it will not go away. So I'm fine with it being outside for a limited time, and then it never comes back because it's dead.
Well, see, they're ripping the siding off of my house as we speak. This is the process going on. We're putting new siding on the house and the garage, so there's no telling what's going to get inside there.
Oh gosh, you don't want a skunk to spray when you're doing that.
No.
It'll stay trapped inside the walls.
Well, God bless you, Sarah. 22, little 22 varmint killer with a suppressed barrel. Yep.
I did hear. I got some recommendations, but
What are they?
I'm not going to go any further.
Not going to?
I'm not going to admit to anything on here.
I do all of the time.
Okay, I don't, one. And number two, can we please just talk for a moment about how ridiculous it is that as a property owner, it is my property, it is my legally obtained weapon. Why can I not kill anything that I need to, some sort of varmint, invasive creature that comes into my backyard?
Well, I told you when I was growing up, my grandmother, she lived in the city limits in Augusta, Georgia. And I mean, that was a pretty tight little neighborhood, pretty big backyard though. She hated the squirrels because they messed up her flowers and they were everywhere. And so she would send me out with my little single shot 410 and she's like, you can fire one shot. And you got to run in the house, and it's you got to shoot up, because she hated those squirrels so much. And I would shotgun blast. Of course, now that neighborhood in Augusta, there's a lot of gunshots around there these days. But I was just like a precursor to that nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, I killed a lot of squirrels in the city limits of Augusta, Georgia.
Well, things are much different now.
They are a lot different.
That
People
would be
are pussies.
and that would be on Nextdoor and the Facebook neighborhood group within 30 seconds. OMG, I just heard a gunshot. Did anyone else hear it? I don't need that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need that.
100% that would be. They'd be the little Karens.
Yep.
Are you in an HOA?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. You got Norman with the HOA presidency. He's going to come down and knock on the door.
Well, we did game the system a little bit because we were so tired of our HOA that I just had my husband run for HOA whenever it came up next. And so now he's on the board.
Does he know?
Yeah, he's on the board.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you just put him up there and he didn't know.
No, he had to
that would
do
be
the
something you
application.
would do, like
It's true.
walk in the door and tell Steven, hey, you're now on the HOA board.
But now we've been able to fight back against the Karens because we've got like super based Steven on the HOA board.
That HOA, where y'all live? Carrollton, somewhere like that?
Yeah. Definitely not going to go further than
It's going to be the Wild West around there, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, they'll try to argue about, planting a bush in front of an AC unit. And they're like, well, this person doesn't have a bush. Honey, it's 110 degrees outside right now. Can we at least just give them till fall to plant something?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that.
See, my thing about HOAs, and they always turn into Gestapos. They always turn into little tyrants.
Yes.
Now, you take that and you multiply that power exponentially the way you could with the state or federal government, and this is what gets in these people's head. Boy, I'm telling you, it corrupts these people.
Yep.
I mean, imagine the tightness of your sphincter. Just the PSI of your butthole. To think that it's your responsibility to drive around a neighborhood and say, the gate on your fence is 3 inches too tall. Really? That affects your life in any way?
Right.
Well, if we let you get away with it, I gotta. I've told y'all the story about the time I was in that Gestapo HOA. First house I ever owned, and they had the little lake out behind the house, and the houses circle that deal. And those people were so crazy and wild, and I just bought a bunch of geese and turned them loose out there in that deal. And then I moved, and I was like, "Deal with it, yeah." And so, because geese are mean, and HOA president.
I love that you're just picking food out of your teeth as we're.
It's a nut.
Is it? Okay.
I ate a kind bar. HOA president trapped one of them in a fishing net, and he put it in his truck to haul it off, and it shit all over the inside of his truck. And I was like, that's what you get, Norman. That's what you get. You're anal retentive. The goose was anal repulsive. Expulsive, I should say. Yeah. Anal expulsive. Bam. Shit all over the cab of his truck.
For the record, I still would prefer goose shit to skunk spray.
Yeah, me too. Although that goose shit, it don't come out easy. Makes me want to eat a Factor meal. That's what it makes me want to do.
Ooh.
I love Factor.
I want to try that.
Oh, you haven't tried it?
No.
Factor's legit. Send it to my mama. What's up, mama?
Send some to me.
No. I said, in fact, no. Your husband's HOA. He's big ballin'. He's got power. Get your husband to buy you a little subscription.
Fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
I'll buy you drinks tonight, though.
Okay.
And then we're going to bang it out. I'm talking about shooting skunks.
Duh.
Yeah.
Where'd your minds go?
People are weird. Hey, it's the fall, and we get a busy fall season. School starts back, all kind of stuff going on. You got jam-packed days. You want convenient meals? Try Factor. Seriously, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. It'll fuel you up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. And if you're busy this fall and you don't want to spend the time cooking, make sure you're still eating well. Factor will help you skip the extra trip to the grocery store, the chopping, prepping, cleaning up too, and you'll still get the flavor and nutritional quality you need. The thing about Factor, fresh, never frozen meals. They're ready in just 2 minutes, seriously, and they are good. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. Adjust your stride this autumn without missing a step. Choose from more than 34 weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. Level up with Gourmet Plus options prepared to perfection by chefs and ready to eat in record time. You can get the upscale meals with premium ingredients like broccolini and leeks and truffle butter and asparagus. It's legit, folks.
Ooh.
And with Factor, you can rest assured you're making a sustainable choice as well. They offset 100% of their delivery emissions, source 100% renewable electricity for their production sites and offices, and feature sustainably sourced seafood in their meals. So, it's September. Get Factor. Enjoy eating well without the hassle. Choose your meals. Enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals. And like I said, ready in 2 minutes. Go over to factormeals.com/Chad50. While you're there, use code Chad50 to get 50% off. That's code Chad50. The website is factormeals.com/Chad50. Get the 50% off. We'll be right back. Boy howdy. Boy howdy, Sarah. Did you see Fetterman's response to them asking about the, I sent it to you there, the Fetterman's response to them talking about the impeachment inquiry?
It was very bizarre.
It's almost like he knows nothing's going to happen. He's probably right.
Okay, but he could also have enough respect for the office to not show up in a hoodie and sweatshirt and be so disrespectful when asked a question.
Yeah.
I mean, there is that.
We have children. We have children in office.
Well,
AOC.
we have children and we have nursing home patients.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
There's nobody serious anymore. It's crazy. This New Mexico thing, there's going to be more of that to come with them doing the gun ban, Governor Lujan, whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
And, the sheriffs are coming out saying, we're not going to enforce that kind of deal. And I think that was a known response, right? That, again, we talk about the HOA. This is her little thing of trotting that shit out there that's HOA on steroids. We're not going to let any guns in the community. Not let anybody carry their guns in them. Well, I told you on your show the other day, start the timer. Let's see how long it takes before people start getting hurt. Mm-hmm. And bad things start to happen. But these sheriffs, they're like, we're not going to do that. I mean, if anybody should understand the citizen's right to carry a firearm in America, it should be the sheriffs of America.
Oh, yeah.
It should be.
And I think even through COVID, obviously there were a lot of, locales that did go along with unconstitutional orders. But whenever you saw a particular, law enforcement officer who actually didn't abide by it, it was typically a sheriff.
Yeah.
Like our friend Bill Wayburn of Tarrant County. I mean, he was like, I'm not complying with, what I'm not going to arrest someone for not wearing a mask. I'm not doing that.
And sheriffs can do what others can't because they're duly elected.
Right.
They're elected officials.
Right.
And they've got a lot of power, a lot of authority, I should say. So that's, if you got one with some common sense, for instance, my friend who's the sheriff down in Del Rio, dealing with the border crisis down there. He's an avowed Democrat. He voted for Joe Biden. He'll tell you in a heartbeat, we had this under control when Trump was in office. Yep. And these guys, they see the front lines of what's going on. So common sense, regardless of their political party, tends to win out. Mm-hmm. Tends to. So we'll see what happens in New Mexico. I don't know. In this California thing, I brought it up on the other show earlier in the week. this California thing where they're wanting to say that if a kid goes to school and has a gender choice and the parents aren't willing to affirm that, then they can come take the child away, or it could be neglect or abuse. When are people going to wake up and be like, we're not staying here. We got to go. And you know how many people in California have told me we're trying to get out, but we can't afford to get out.
I mean, you would think that you could afford to get out because anywhere else you go, your paycheck's going to go a lot further.
One would think. I guess they got to find a job in the state they're wanting to go to.
Yeah.
But you get entrenched. I've often thought about, now me, it's easy. I don't have any strings. I can pick up and go. I can move anywhere I want to go in the world. I got a girlfriend that might not like that. But I can get other girlfriends. People say I'm so mean. It's because I am. I am. But I understand if people have families and their kids and they're kind of dug in a little bit, and then financially they don't have the ability just to pop up and go wherever they want to go. I tend to.
I understand that.
But I'm telling you, it's worth it. You got to. At some point in time, we got to send a message. And I think if we did it in mass, where everybody just said, okay, it's moving day.
Right. Like
set a date, April 24th, 2024. Everybody with any values or common sense is moving the F out of California.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you can't just always make the decision, we're going to pack up and leave tomorrow because we don't like what's going on here. But I think that, anyone who has a family and is trying to raise their family in a reasonable, sane place, a safe place, should at least be making a plan to do that, have a goal, be setting aside a certain amount every month, until you can achieve that goal, but certainly work towards it. Don't just say, well, I can't do it now.
But I got
I guess.
Millions of people from all over the globe who are coming to our southern border. Their migration, and they're coming into America. They picked up and left. I don't know how they swam across the ocean, some of them, but they managed to do that. You got Chinese nationals that found a wormhole from Beijing to Juarez, but they got here. And you telling me you can't get out of California or New Mexico or New York or Illinois? You can get out.
Yeah.
You can get out, and you should before they start checking your papers at the border. Because here's the thing, when the Berlin Wall went up overnight, those people woke up to two different countries, and they were like, oh, shit, I can't go see my cousin anymore. I can't go see my family, my mother. I can't just walk down the street. Now I have to have papers to go across. And, whenever the wall came down, nobody ran to East Berlin. They all ran to West Berlin. Nobody was trying to escape to East Berlin. They were all trying to escape to West Berlin.
Right.
They wanted to go where it wasn't fascism. And so these states that are doing that, what's going to happen in America when one day, because again, if they can trample on your constitutional rights like the Second Amendment, like she's trying to do the fact that she's willing to even entertain the rhetoric and say it so brashly, so brazenly.
On top of that, she admits to a reporter that we talked about it on my show the other day. She admits to a reporter, they explicitly ask her if she thinks that this will stop criminals from carrying weapons and committing crimes there. And she says, no.
Yeah.
She said, no. It will not
won't
do anything.
Yeah.
But it's a resounding message.
And so my follow-up question, see, that's why these journalists, they stop too quick. My follow-up question is, so then what is your goal here? Just to send a message? Just to send a message? What is your purpose if it's not going to stop criminal activity? So you're literally pushing something that will penalize law-abiding citizens. Mm-hmm. And it's also a violation in numerous ways of the Constitution of the United States of America. Mm-hmm. And it's going to produce nothing of the desired result that you supposedly want it to produce.
Yeah, unless the desired result actually is a little more sinister.
To penalize law-abiding citizens. So if they're willing to do that, then why won't they eventually restrict your travel? So let's talk about that a little bit, because I think they're already restricting travel. If you go to the gas pump, I don't know if you guys have even paid attention to this. If you drive a diesel truck like I do, it's a good chance you've noticed this. They've slowed all the gas pumps down. This has been going on for a long time now. This has been going on.
Really?
Almost a year now I've noticed that the gas pumps, they take forever.
They do take a long time.
For you to fuel up your car.
Now that you say that.
Start paying attention. They slowed those suckers down.
Yeah, because gas used to just
Boop, it was
flow
there.
out of it. Yeah.
Now, I pumped for, I don't know, I went in the bathroom, grabbed a water inside the store, you know. I go in there, I pissed, grabbed a big bottle of water, checked out, said hi, flirted a little bit, you know, talked to the girl at the bakery. What's up? How's your mama? The whole thing, you know, held the door open for 17 migrants and went back out there to the thing. It had pumped $12.73 worth of diesel into my truck. I wish I was exaggerating. I did a video of this the other day right up here at MacArthur and whatever road we were on. I get confused in this town. It's all like somebody threw spaghetti out and drew lines and made roads. But up there on MacArthur, I stopped to get gas the other day, and I did a video of it.
Really?
I did a video of it. It was up to like I'd been there 20 minutes. It was up to $74. It was like 15 minutes.
I wonder if they're doing it more to diesel.
They are.
Okay.
I've noticed this.
Yeah.
Because I also have a gas-powered car, and you know the Bronco takes gas. I've noticed that's slow.
Yeah.
But nowhere near the diesel.
Really?
The diesel's insane. Why? They're limiting your movement, and it's a slow programming. They're wanting you, one, to get away from carbon engines. They want you to get away from carbon exhaust engines. Right. They want you on electric. They want you charging up. And so it's a slow, progressive brainwashing penalization of you continuing to use fossil fuels. It's what it is. And they don't want you moving around. That's why the first thing they did when the pandemic hit is stay at home. Don't go anywhere. That's why they're doing diversity hires with the airlines. They don't give a shit about these airplanes anymore. They don't even care. They don't care if the window falls out. They don't care. I mean, some of the stories that I've had just in the last 6 months of traveling. Oh, God. Back on airplanes again, as much as I am. And I fly United, which is one of the worst because they were the big ones pushing diversity hire. Oh. And it's like, I don't care what color your skin is. Can you land the freaking plane?
Yeah.
And like the customer service is horrible. TSA is garbage. I literally looked at the guys at TSA the other day at Nashville's airport and said, y'all need another job. You suck at this.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I did. I swear to God I did. There were 3 guys looking at the x-ray machine. It took me an hour with clear to go through, an hour to go through the TSA checkpoint. An hour.
Isn't that okay? I had a similar experience in Orlando with TSA, but I tried to be very pleasant because I didn't want to get put on the no-fly list.
When I say an hour, I mean from the time they checked my ID and boarding pass, the little girl in the little plexiglass, because I go through clear.
Right.
They verify my identification, go up to her, and they basically wave and say, this is him. From that point till I got my shoes on the other side of TSA, 1 hour. And there weren't a lot of people in front of me.
Did they have to pull your bag?
They had retarded people looking at the bags in the x-ray machine.
Yeah.
3 men. And these guys were subpar in the IQ department. Their intelligence quotient was non-existent. I mean, these guys were literally... I looked across the plexiglass once my stuff came out and I had it in my possession. And I said, hey, guys, the 3 of you need to find a different job. And they said, what? And I said, y'all suck at this. I said, look around. I don't know if you've looked behind you. That's your fault. Wow. Look, that's your fault. All these people pissed off over here, that's your fault.
Wow.
I said all of that to them.
Okay, it makes sense now. You waited until you had all of your
I had my stuff.
And then you said it.
I mean, rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub, circle jerking. I'm like, what are you looking for? Literally, what are you looking for? There's 17 girls in yoga pants over here. Do you, honest to God, think they're hijacking a plane? It's the federal government. Federal government, Sarah.
I know.
Oh, I hate it. We got to go to a break. There's so much I want to say about that topic.
Me too.
I'm very visceral.
Well, let's talk about it.
I'm very passionate. I don't know if I can find the passion again.
You're very passionate about being anti-TSA.
And screw that skunk, too. That skunk was placed there by the Joe Biden administration.
I bet George Bush was behind that skunk.
George Bush is behind a lot of shit, man. How did 2 planes hit 2 buildings and 3 buildings fall down?
Gosh.
Tell me that. When we return. Hey, no matter where your adventures take you this fall, you ain't getting there quick if TSA's got anything to say about it. No matter where your adventures take you, Bespoke Post has a box of awesome to make it just that, more awesome. The box of awesome is filled with carefully chosen gear from the best small brands around the world. This month I got some camping gear. I got some emergency supplies. I got some first aid stuff. I love getting my cocktail upgrades. I love getting my knives, my all kind of cool stuff. Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. And what you do is you take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right box of awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. Every box valued around $70. I think it's actually more than that, but you only pay a fraction of that price. Plus, with each box of awesome, you're supporting small business. In fact, 90% of everything that comes in your box of awesome is from a small up-and-coming brand. Free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel anytime. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com. Enter code WATCHCHAD at checkout. Boxofawesome.com, code WATCHCHAD, 20% off the first box. Do it. We'll be right back. I'll tell you about they're slowing us down. They want to restrict the travel. They're going to try to bring that crap back, and not happening. Because I keep saying, if they bring it back, I just won't travel on the airlines. Like if the airlines bring back masks, I just won't travel on the airlines. But they're going to restrict fuel. They're going to restrict, they already in many ways do restrict it because of how slow the fuel pumps.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then once they transition to electric vehicles, you're just going to be SOL if you can't afford a Tesla.
Well, I can stay at home.
You can. I was so mad when I found out that Porsche, my dream car.
I like how she says Porsche.
Well, I used to say Porsche, and people told me that it was wrong and that I needed to say Porsche, and I felt like if I own one, I should get it right. And so my dream car is a Porsche Taycan, or it was, until I found out that all of the models are electric. And I was like, well, shit.
Sarah texted me 2 weeks ago, and she's like, do you know anybody that can do service on a Porsche? That was a text message. I still read it her way, Porsche. That doesn't cost an arm and a leg. I was like, yeah, Rufus and Ty down here at the garage, they'll fix it. They'll do whatever you want to do. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, that's not what I want.
I know.
And usually, they have a special filter, so it's all annoying. But every time I take it to the dealership for an oil change, they're like, that'll be $1,000. I'm like, what did you put in there? Diamonds?
I take my Ford F-250 to Gullo down there in Conroe, and that thing sometimes it's $750 to get everything done to it.
It is so expensive at the dealer.
See, again, travel. They don't want you traveling. They don't want anybody moving. They don't. We started this whole conversation talking about people trying to get out of California. They're going to make it worse on y'all first. Mm-hmm. You better come to some place at least you can push back a little bit, or at least you got some elected representatives that are willing to push back.
Yeah.
They got this impeachment trial so-called thing going on with Ken Paxton, and they want to bring up all the stuff the other day talking about, his affairs and stuff like that. Again, don't matter what you think about the guy, I have not seen them provide anything that's provable as an impeachable offense. They're like, well, he took money for this and all that. And I'm like,
Yeah. Number one, there's no evidence.
There's no evidence of that.
Number two, basically what they've admitted to is he had a bunch of subordinates who didn't like his decisions, therefore just didn't do what he asked. So he called someone else in to investigate something that he truly thought was a crime. Yeah. Which, by the way, was the FBI. So, I don't know if you want to get me started on the Paxton trial, but Well, it's just there's nothing there. There's no evidence.
Yeah, but
they want to attack the fighters.
You and I have posted about it.
Yeah.
We're part of that group that we post about it. We talk about it. We're in some text groups and stuff like that. We talk about what's going on because we care about what's going on in Texas. And again, people are like, well, he's this and he's that. It's like, what you think of him does not matter. You guys are missing the point. Mm-hmm. You're opening up Pandora's box.
Yes.
You do this, and you are going to have trouble from now until Jesus comes back.
You want to impeach someone for having an extramarital affair. Oh, boy. Let's apply that standard to all of our elected officials.
Every one of them.
All of them.
It was like the lawyer for the defense said the other day. He said, you want to start doing that in Austin? Mm-hmm. Let's see how many of you guys are still going to be here.
Yeah, he said, we'll be impeaching people for 100 years.
Yeah.
And he's right. And I have firsthand knowledge of that personally.
As do I. Mm-hmm. As do I, as an offender myself.
Well, you're not in office, so.
Not in office.
That doesn't count.
I sling these nuts everywhere. Nobody wants to sex me anymore, though. It's a sad deal.
Is it a sad deal?
Nobody wants to sex Chad anymore.
I feel like that's not true.
I just talked about myself in the third person. That might have a problem. That might be part of the problem.
Maybe.
Queen Sophia. What was that? What was that movie? How to Lose a Guy in 10 days or whatever. 10
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah. Where she was calling his penis Princess Sophia.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I forgot about it too. Most men want to forget about it. But yeah, I mean, this impeachment thing, these people who come back and they're like, well, he's a garbage. I'm like, that's not an impeachable offense.
No, it's not. And in fact, you're going to have to give me actual proof, evidence, physical, tangible evidence of him committing a major crime for me to overlook the fact that he has been the most conservative attorney general in the entire country, that he has fought Joe Biden more than any other attorney general, more than any other state. And we continue to lose while he is suspended from office because they threw all this at him. Like the border, the buoys at the border.
He could have fought that.
He could have fought that. And now we have some acting interim attorney general who was not involved in all the preparation for the case.
Bowed right down to the Biden administration. Caved. Gave it up.
So, I mean, I realize that there's, I think that there's a judge that has stayed that, but it's like we need our fighter at the helm running things. And instead, we're going through this circus that didn't even have to be that way. Why? Because he challenged the establishment.
100%. And so, I'm just telling you, this goes back to these places like California, Illinois, where I'm telling you, you need to get out of there and get someplace where somebody's going to fight for you. Again, you don't like the guy. He pushed the establishment and the establishment came after him. It doesn't matter, again, what you think of him. You don't have verifiable proof there. You don't have evidence that's provable to impeach the guy, but you're still going to keep up this witch hunt. You're going to continue to lose the battle. Texas is going to go the same way as the rest of these states. They're going to. We're on the cusp of being a blue state. We're on because we're blue cities. All of our cities are blue. So we're on the cusp of flipping that switch real quick. And when it goes downhill, man, that's a slippery slope. It's going to go quick. If you don't have the guy fighting, nobody's standing in the gap.
Well, and I think that the key here will be how many Texans are actually paying enough attention to call their state senator, call their office, send them an email, and let them know how serious you are about taking them out of office if they go along with this. Yeah. I don't know how many people are even engaged with what's going on. They're just reading the headlines from the Texas Tribune, and they're like, wow, I guess Paxton did something really bad.
Exactly. They went out, they found an article that fit their opinion and their personal bias towards Ken Paxton, and that's what they're doing. And I'm going to say this again because you're still not hearing my point. You let this go through without true, verifiable, provable evidence. You let this go through, and it is going to open up a can of worms that Texas will never get back in. It's going to be, it's going to open up an avalanche.
Not only will it open up a can of worms that you cannot put back, it will also become the blueprint for any other place
for how it always happens.
That wants to try to remove a duly elected official because they don't agree with him and he's not establishment enough. That would be the blueprint.
And the people want to get on. I say something about it on Twitter, and people want to get on there and say, well, you're just stupid. You're ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. Now, listen, we're pre-taping this. Maybe they've got some evidence between the time we tape this and when this airs on Thursday night. But so far, what I've seen in 4 days of trial that I've been paying attention to, I mean, from last week to this week, and I'm like, I haven't seen it yet.
No. All their their star witnesses have already taken the stand, and I didn't see
they got decimated.
The evidence. Yeah, they did.
They got embarrassed, and they're all, I don't know, weirdly effeminate.
And they all, by the way, they all really trust the FBI. They could never fathom.
They're all about the FBI.
They could never fathom that the FBI would ever do something corrupt, which tells you all you need to know about them.
So keep prying the box open. You're going to find out. Guys, for 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And when I say only, trust me, they're the only one. We've been supporters of Patriot Mobile. They've been supporters of ours for a long time. And I'm proud to continue partnering with them because they offer dependable nationwide coverage. They give you the ability to access all 3 major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left and their priorities. So when you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending the message that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, Second Amendment, our military veterans, and first responder heroes. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. You keep your number. You keep your phone. You can upgrade. They'll help you. Their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Go to patriotmobile.com/Chad. That's patriotmobile.com/Chad, or call them 878-PATRIOT. When you give them offer code CHAD, I spell it Chad, they will get you free activation. So join me and make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Chad, or call them 878-PATRIOT, and we will be right back. Man, Baste Records, I just got a message from my buddy Chris Wallen. And the momentum behind Baste Records, they started a non-woke music label in Nashville, right there on Music Row. And it's about counterculture instead of cancel culture, which is a beautiful philosophy. And if you're not following Baste, B-A-S-T-E, Baste Records on social media, check it out. John Rich came by, toured our offices the other day. Robbie Starbuck, who's a great influencer, he came by there yesterday or the day before yesterday. Different folks are popping in. They're all excited. Nashville's excited.
You know how sad it is that you actually said they started a non-woke record label in Nashville. That was actually necessary.
If people had any idea how bad it's gotten in Nashville,
yeah,
of the executives and the studios, and just even on my project, we had a film crew there that was kind of filming some behind the scenes stuff. There were certain musicians that believe like we believe, but they were like, we can't be seen in this video because we tour with XYZ and we love y'all. We believe in what you're doing, but this is our world and our career. We can't let it get out that we were with Chad Prather.
Unbelievable.
So I'm telling you, we're starting a movement. We've got the money behind it. We've got the artist support. Some are vocal about it. John Riches of the world are vocal about it. The Ira Deans are vocal about it. The Jeffrey Steeles. And when I say those names, those of you who know anything about country music know that I'm listing off multi-platinum major players in Nashville music scene for a lot of years. Chris Wallen, another one. And what we're doing with Baste Records is huge. So I want you guys to pay attention because I'm going to keep you informed. I've got some music coming out. We got some fun stuff. Got a Christmas song coming out that's amazing. If I do say so myself. Listen, when you got Grammy-winning musicians who leave the studio still humming that song, you did it right.
It's great. It's the one I heard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
When they're still humming that song because that earworm is stuck in their head, and these guys, they do music for a living, and they're leaving out and they're going, dude, that's good.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the last week of November, we'll be putting that out for Christmas season, maybe mid to late November. And it's cool stuff. And so we're going to change the game with Baste Records.
I just miss the times when you did Christmas songs with me.
Well, those days are over.
Apparently. Chad's like, I don't even know who you are anymore. I made it in the big leagues,
why don't you hang a jingle bell on that skunk? Ching, 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 ching. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good stuff.
It's going to be good
stuff. And you know what? Here's the beauty of it, Sarah. When this thing blows up and people see what we're doing and they're like, you know what? You took your sphere of influence and you took your little piece of platform and worked to bring back a portion of the music industry back to the people who have values. Then that thing gets a little bit bigger. Then we go back and not only make good music and fun music and have fun, but more people hear it and pay attention to it because we were able to, I was a trailblazer. I love me so much. But nobody wants to sex me anymore, and that's disgusting. I'm lumpier than Mike Lindell's pillows.
That was such a funny exchange.
Mike Lindell, talk about based.
That was so funny.
And he's like, now you're being an asshole.
My pillows are not lumpy.
Nobody complains about the pillows being lumpy. Now you're just being an asshole. You're an asshole. Hey, you get that feeling something bad's going to happen? I do. Soon. But between the distractions and smoke screens and the media, we probably won't see it coming. That's why it's smart to invest in emergency food right away. As they say, better to have it, not need it, than to need it, not have it. My Patriot Supply is the nation's leader in high-quality emergency food. Go to my website, preparewithchad.com. It'll get you $200 off a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. You're going to get a wide variety of great meals offering over 2,000 calories every day for optimum strength under stress. Stock up before the panic sets in. Free shipping, discreetly delivered to your door, shipped fast. Go to preparewithchad.com. What I say? Go to preparewithchad.com. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm in Kansas City. Right now, I'm actually in Kansas City doing a show, and y'all are missing it. But if you're anywhere within the United States, come to Kansas City tomorrow or Saturday. Friday, Saturday, that's right. And next week, I'm going to be in Wyoming and South Dakota. WatchChad.com is where all the fun stuff is. You can shop with Sarah at AmericanBeautyBySarah.com, and you can look like her, too, which is amazing. Look at that.
Also, Real Women's Club.
RealWomen'sClub.com. You're gonna change a lot of things around there. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about that. We got to have a meeting.
Let's do it.
We got to sit down. Because that thing's going to the next level. We're gonna rechange all the designs. I said everybody's gonna buy those designs and bought those designs. Let's clean house and just start over.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This thing is too big of a brand. RealWomen'sClub.com. So if any of those designs are on there that you want, you might want to go get them because they might go away here pretty soon. And there's some fun designs, but. Yeah, we got to start all over. I'll just start shoving. That's my new job. I'm just going to start shoving T-shirts in an envelope again. That's what I'll do. Boom.
I mean, it's proven track record there.
Right?
Listen, there's a reason why they say if you want something right, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, apparently, because everything else I'm partnered with tends to, I get shoved to the back burner. Mm-hmm. But whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say I love me, because nobody else does. Can't get anybody to show me their naked giblets anymore.
Well, I was going to say I love you, but I am not going to show you my naked giblets.
See? It's a different kind of love. You have an agape love for me.
Yeah.
You choose to love me. You have a phileo love for me, which is a brotherly love.
Yes.
You do not have an eros love. Your husband just left. You have all those things plus eros. It's an erotic love.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got
yeah,
that you do, girl.
Oh, yeah,
you do. Maybe it ain't a skunk you're smelling in the house. I don't know.
That does not smell like skunk. You know what? Never mind.
Oh, I'm talking about him. Maybe he's spraying.
That also does not smell like skunk.
WatchChad.com. Don't forget, subscribe to Blaze. Use promo code Chad when you shop. I love you. God bless you. Bye. Play it.